and she is known throughout the world as a saint. This is the first time that I have been able to meet a saint. You're also a faith healer, or psychic healer, I guess some people call you. But when asked in a recent interview as to whether or not you were a saint or considered yourself to be a saint, you had a very unusual answer. Are you?
Actually, you cannot certify yourself, isn't it, as anything. The quality of a saint is that he can make others saints. If he can make others saints, then he's a saint. Otherwise, it's just self-certification.
Can you make other people saints?
I think so.
Yes. How would you define a saint, though? What would another person become that would make them a saint?
A person who becomes a saint develops a new awareness as a result of a living process of evolution, that he becomes the spirit as described by Christ, that you are to be born again. And in that, the awareness becomes actualization. It's not just mental projection, but actualization, that you become a person who is collectively conscious.
You mentioned Christ, and yet you are from an Eastern country, being from India. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Of course, he plays a very big role in your evolution. He is the gate, I said.
So then, by your definition, a saint could be a person who might be a born-again Christian, who might have taken the collective consciousness of Jesus into their lives?
You see, those who accept him mentally are not born again. Though it is a happening that has to take place. Baptism is a happening. And that happening takes place when there's a vital force within our sacrum bone which rises. You can actually feel the rising of that force. It comes up onto the fontanelle bone area where we baptize, and you feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost.
Yes, they say that there's a cool breeze
of the Holy
people
Ghost,
feel.
yes.
And another one of the interviews that I read about, you said that the interviewer who interviewed you, that you put your hand above the interviewer, and he was able to also feel the cool breeze.
Yes, and also...
Can you give me the cool breeze? I've been waiting all my life for
Yes, I think you
yes,
can.
Really?
You can. You were a little upset in the beginning when I
was
saw
upset this morning.
And it's all right.
Yes.
I think, but now you have cooled down and it will work out in no time.
So will I get the cool breeze, or do you have to actually touch
You might,
me
while talking to me, might get it. But actually you feel it on your fingertips. As Muhammad Sahib has said, that at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak. And for the first time you feel that all-pervading subtle power, that you become something more than what you are. That's the saint.
You have healed many people. How many would you estimate that you've healed in your lifetime?
I don't know how many. I've never kept
Hundreds?
At least.
At least hundreds.
At least hundreds. But actually the people who become saints can also, so if you see Sahaja, it can be in thousands. Because so many people who became prophets, they have done it.
They're also healing other people.
They are healing much more than myself nowadays.
What type of diseases or things have you been able to heal?
Most of the incurable diseases get healed, but it's not a faith healing. In the sense, you don't have to have faith, or you don't have to believe into anything. There's no blindness about it. There's no blindness. Actually, it's a happening, as I told you, like a sprouting of the seed. As a seed sprouts, in the same way, your awakening takes place, and by that, you get your parasympathetic nervous system nourished. It's a question of nourishment. That's how it works out.
You have made a lot of statements about Orthodox religion, specifically Catholicism and Protestantism.
Everything.
What do you feel about them? Let's hear about that on our show today.
You see, are nothing but philosophies. They are just philosophies. They are words, words, and words. As Christ himself, now let's see, he said that, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Can you find any Christian without adulterous eyes? Rather difficult. Why? Why is it, when he said so, why is it we cannot have those innocent eyes we should have? The reason is what he said, that he is to be born again within you. And there's a specific place where Christ is awakened when this force rises.
And yet, one of the articles I read said that you felt that some of the Orthodox religions were based on ignorance and extremism. So it sounded to me
Fanaticism.
that you were being negative about them.
No, not very negative. I should say as a mother that they are misled. They are misled people.
Misled.
Misled. You see, they just started thinking that by reading something or by praying, it will work out. You have to be connected first with God.
Well, how do you get connected?
Connected, God has placed everything within you. Everything is within you, and it's only the person who is a saint who can do it. It's like a Mother Earth. What you do is to put the seed in her, and it sprouts by itself. It's your own. So it's spontaneous, it's living.
There was an article from the London newspaper that mentioned that a young boy, 17 years old, had been very badly injured, almost to the point of being mangled on a motorcycle, and he was, let's say, 2 miles away from where you were, and yet he claims that he saw you come to him. He thought that you were really there. Apparently it was a vision, that you placed your hands on various parts of his body, and he was healed. The accident saw you there, but yet you were there.
It's true.
How is it? Can you explain that?
You see, we must know that in the realm of God, all your telecommunication, television is so efficient. It works. Just like I'm sitting here, but I'm there, and I'm everywhere, as in you can see it. In the same way, in his television, they have arrangements like that, and you can work it out. It's simple.
One other thing you said is that you are able to cure AIDS. How?
Yes, it could be cured, because it's a what I have seen through this collective consciousness, that AIDS is caused by the combination of 3 subtle centers within us. And if these 3 centers can be nourished, it can be cured. I think one fellow got cured in London.
But you also said in another interview something to the effect that if everyone became collectively conscious or at one with you, or a saint, as you want to put it, that there would be no more homosexuality. So are you saying then that homosexuality is a negative thing?
No, it is unnatural.
Unnatural?
It is not natural. The thing is, when they get homosexual, it is because of the forced conditions. For example, say, you see, if they see the women are too dominating, it's difficult to carry on with them. They are not any more women, they are more men, you see, so they prefer men who are womanish sort of thing. It's a mixture. The society is quite mixed up. Or also can be possible sometimes a man can be possessed by a woman, and he might behave like that. It's a complicated personality.
Jerry Falwell was on our show last week, I believe, or week before. He said that the natural state that would cure a lot of things is monogamy. One man for one woman. Do you agree?
Of course, I mean, that's natural to be like that. No problems.
He said that our society has become too promiscuous, and that's why that we have all these new diseases.
You see, the thing is, we are on an ego-oriented society, and where we think, what's wrong? We don't see the whole. We just see part of it, you see. And ego can never lead us to right things. Ourself is the one that gives us all the security, all the wisdom, all the guidance. And then we just become monogamous automatically. I don't have to tell. Those people who became prophets, as I said, got cured. They become monogamous. Some of them were homosexuals. They became normal people. They got mad.
Okay. We are out of time. I'd love to chat with you more. Some of your ideas are very, very fascinating. For those of you that would like to go and attend a free lecture, I don't know if we can call it lecture, but experience with Sri Mataji, there are 3 meetings that she'll be available to. You'll be able to see her here in Los Angeles. First, this Saturday at the First Methodist Church on Franklin Avenue right here in Hollywood. And also then again on Monday and on Tuesday, and that's at 7 o'clock. So this Saturday, First United Methodist Church of Hollywood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to experience you.
Thank you.
Okay.